So apparently the Supreme Court has upheld the TikTok ban, and while it still may not be enforced by Biden and Trump, whether TikTok gets banned or gets fundamentally altered by Trump's patronage, the app as you know it is going to be fundamentally different going forward. You know what I mean? It's almost like it doesn't matter because either it's going to become a shell of what it used to be or banned. So I just want to reflect a little bit on TikTok. Most of this is going to be about book talk. There might be a little bit of some other things here too, because there's some stuff I want to get off my chest. And if it's all the same at this point, I just want to be brutally honest. Some of the stuff I'm going to be talking about has been bugging me or frustrating me about book talk and stuff for a while now. So I just kind of want to get that out there. So first of all, I do want to talk about the positives, because there are definitely some positives. Most notably the fact that I've met a lot of awesome people. I've met a lot of awesome authors, voice actors, even the occasional artist. I've met so many awesome people on here, and it's transcended the app itself. Like I know them now on Instagram, on Threads, on Blue Sky. Not so much YouTube, but hopefully that will change. Oh, and by the way, you can find me on YouTube and Blue Sky. Like, I met a lot of awesome people on here. A lot of offers, and it's incredible seeing the kind of stuff we're doing. Like, I have yet to see a book like mine. You know what I mean? We're all just doing such different things, and it's really cool to see. Now, there's some caveats and issues that undermine a lot of the good stuff we're doing, and I'll get to that with the negatives. I've met authors, editors, voice actors, and some of the voice actor stuff is going to go even beyond this, beyond book stuff. Like, that's definitely been beneficial. That alone makes TikTok ultimately worth it for me. However, there's some negatives. Now, I shouldn't have to spell this out, but these are just my opinions. I would say I'm sorry for saying something that ruffles your feathers, but I'm not sorry. That's kind of the whole point of this. I'm just saying what's been on my mind, and I know I'm not alone. I do think TikTok as a platform is pretty heavily romanticized right now, because real talk, TikTok has a bad reputation outside of it. Some of the reasons are bull crap, and I'm not trying to defend the fact that it's being banned. But, for example, TikTok challenges. Every time a stupid challenge thing goes viral, innocent people get property damage, they get hurt. The scale can be disturbingly big. And don't try and downplay and say that it's only a few people. You can't praise TikTok for having 170 million people on it and then downplay its size when it's inconvenient for you. Scammers and grifters are just as prevalent here as anywhere else, and the damage they cause is actually way worse. Whether it's bad coffee mugs or people getting their teeth messed up, you know what I mean? There's so much damage that's caused by these people. Or sometimes you just get people who straight up just don't know what the fuck they're talking about on pretty much all topics. To the point where, again, TikTok has a bad reputation for experts of fields outside of it. I'm not saying that's true for every single person and every single expert, but there's enough problems that's your reputation. And despite people talking about how TikTok is a platform for free speech, algorithms can be just as suppressive on here as anywhere else. I've been critical as fuck of TikTok at very different points. There was one point where I got shadow banned and all my stuff was auto flagged because they just didn't like what I was saying. So much for a platform that advocates freedom of speech, right? To the point where even though I'm talking in a way just like many other people on here, realistically, I'm not expecting that many people to actually see this video. Now, as for book talk, this is where I'm really going to ruffle some feathers, because there's a lot of stuff that's been unsaid that I just kind of want to put out there. Like, first of all my author friends and stuff, we're basically like the stragglers. We're basically like the bottom feeders in the sense that we have almost nothing. Seriously, even those of us that have like a few thousand followers, it's like, yeah, we're not doing well. I was never expecting to blow up on here, but I was still expecting growth, and that just hasn't happened for me. Most of my followers on here are just authors, because that's the thing, there are thousands of us, tens of thousands of us, and while I don't consider any of you guys my rivals, we are by technicality at odds with each other in the sense that, like, someone has to lose, you know what I mean? Like, there's only so many readers, and there's only so many books that could be bought at one time. Reader Talk has tried to downplay this, talking about how quick they can get through books and stuff, but I call bullcrap. You're not a machine. You're not going to go through dozens of books a year. The queue is still going to be way too long. And to be blunt, unless your book is romantasy or dark romantasy, you're not going to get anywhere on this app. Having a few thousand subscribers, maybe even in the tens of thousands, is still so small compared to the book talk, dark romantasy darlings, and just the juggernaut that is that genre on here. Seriously, between that and the books that are already popular, that is the majority of book talk. Like I said, there's thousands of us all trying to market our books at the same time. It's basically impossible to stand out because there are just objectively only so many ways you can talk about your book. And trust me, I've done everything. I've done everything you can possibly imagine. I've tried to address mistakes and issues and stuff like that along the way, but the ugly truth is I can't stand out because there's only so many ways you can talk about your book. Everything you try, there's going to be dozens of authors who are literally doing the same thing. And I also have a lot of disdain for the dark romantasy reader base. And this is where I'm really good at ruffle feathers. Please hear me out. I'm saying this because it's what you need to hear. You guys have no standards. You guys are uncritical, horny, and way too easy to please. I know I'm being harsh, but this is what you need to hear. Look what's happening with your genre. So you have so many books coming out that are ripping off ACOTAR, which ACOTAR has some issues with it that I've heard that I really don't like. Now it's a little bit more, now it's more okay to criticize Sarah, but for a long time you couldn't on here. There's worse and worse books coming out by hack authors, and yes, I do believe they're hacks, that are just further degradations of the genre, that are focusing more on spice and, tropes and trends than actual good storytelling. Lightlock was a darling on here, and you know what? Those books were terrible. And the genre is degrading even more with stuff like Blood of Hercules, which is awful. That book is awful. I called it garbage in passing when I was criticizing content warnings. That's ruffled feathers, apparently. Just calling something garbage was enough to get people in my face about it. Yeah, I stand by it. Blood of Hercules is garbage. Here are just a couple choice excerpts from this book. Please, tell me I'm out of line for criticizing it. And I've had people tell me that, calling a book garbage and criticizing the reader base is gross. Basically telling me that, it's subjective. I can't say that it's garbage. Because the argument you hear people peddle is, why can't you just let people enjoy what they enjoy? That argument is supremely hypocritical because that knife cuts both ways. Don't tell me what to do. Yeah, I'm getting very angry in this one, as you can see. Seriously, don't tell me what to do. By your logic, shut up. You see why it's kind of asinine now? And yeah, you're entitled to your opinions. You know what I mean? I don't care for them, but I'm entitled to them. And I know that knife cuts both ways. And you can say the same about what I'm saying here. But if that's seriously the only thing you're taking away from this, I'm disappointed in you. Going to my free issues. The horniness is not a problem on its own. You know what I mean? People can enjoy. If people like corn with extra steps, that's on them. I don't care. That's not an issue on its own. But it's the easy to please part is the issue. Because there's so much emphasis on the tropes, stuff like enemies to lovers, who did this to you, touch her and die, and all these other dark romantasy tropes. As long as you put those tropes in there in your book, as long as there's spice in it, hundreds of thousands of you guys will eat it up uncritically. Blood of Hercules is a bestseller. The Lightlock books are bestsellers. Blood of Hercules audiobook is like the top 10 on Audible, for at least for a genre. That is huge. I know that there are some of you guys that have standards that don't condone these piece of crap books, but you're the minority. Books don't become bestsellers if it's only a small portion of people that are uncritical. Book talk has a toxic positivity problem. You know what I mean? You can't criticize books in any capacity. Because like I said, if you do, people say that you're the bad guy for doing that. And you guys are getting exploited. You guys are getting exploited by hack authors and publishers that know how to please you. By playing to all the stuff I mentioned. And instead of being remotely critical of that and recognizing you're being exploited, you self-police. You go after people like me that criticize this stuff instead. This is what people see outside of book talk. And it's because of this that book talk has done a lot of damage to the indie book scene. It has. I know people saying like Peter, that's not true. Book Talk has given a platform to all sorts of indie authors. You said so as much in the beginning of this video. Yeah. But it's all invalidated by the prevalence of dark romantasy. It helps authors find authors. It helps them find readers a little bit. For every good thing Book Talk does in that regard, it undermines it way worse. It's giving a large platform, but then it's giving most of that platform to dark romantasy, which sucks to suck for pretty much everyone else. My books do not have much spice. They do not have many of these tropes. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why I'm struggling to find my readers. Is because it does none of the tropes that draw people in superficially. The marketing in the book should be about the characters in the world, not tropes, not spice. But here we are, you know what I mean? And again, this is why you guys have such a bad reputation outside of TikTok. This is how you guys are coming across outside of your app. Take it from someone who's autistic and having no awareness sometimes on how I'm coming across. I know I'm reader bashing in this, but it's what you need to hear. Criticism is important for people to grow. I feel like there's way too many authors on here that are fine with the little fiefdoms of yes men. Again, if you praise another person's books, no one bats an eye, but you dare criticize them, you're the bad guy. Apparently, I'm only allowed to say good things about books. Otherwise, forget it. If you guys go to YouTube, you're gonna have a rude awakening over how fucking ridiculous you've been. You're gonna find that the toxic positivity on TikTok is not gonna translate to YouTube. You're gonna have a very rude awakening. Let me tell you a story. When I was working on The Six Strangers, I had a good chunk of the first draft of The Six Strangers done, and I was just struggling with it, so I found a local author group that was doing basically doing these workshops bi-weekly. I brought an excerpt from my book to it, and it didn't go well. I got a lot of, stern constructive criticism. It was even a little bit snarky, but it's what I needed to hear. Now, I was at a crossroads. Part of me was tempted to give up, but I decided to persevere, address what they said, and I brought the same scene back next time. They thought it was immensely improved. It helped me grow as a writer in such a big way. I've gotten very useful constructive feedback from beta readers on The Uniter. I got some very harsh but good criticism for Realms of the Nephilim, where someone DNF'd it after the first chapter, and I wanted to bring it back again. This is how you get better. I don't want the dark romantasy genre to die. If the dark romantasy genre dies, it's going to be from the books degrading and decaying to basically being crappy setups for corn instead of actual stories. To give a sense of how bad the world building is in these newer dark romantasy books, Blood of Hercules, which is allegedly takes cues from Greek mythology, for the Titans, all Jasmine, the author, says is the Titans just inexplicably appeared. That is all she fucking put for the Titans. Are you seriously gonna tell me I'm out of line for criticizing that? Because some people are just gonna enjoy it anyways? Come the fuck on. Be better. Whether you guys stay here or go somewhere else, be better. Or not. You can write off everything I'm saying as my opinions. I'm just gonna, let people enjoy what they want to enjoy, Peter. Shut the fuck up. I mean, you're not gonna say that last part, but you basically want to. So, yeah, as you can see, I was very harsh in this video, and I'm sorry if that upsets people, but that's what you need to hear. Between the issues with TikTok's algorithms and my issues with the platform, the preference of what works and what doesn't, yeah, regardless of what happens to Book Talk, I'm not going to be on TikTok that much anymore.